Welcome, ghouls, demons, and fellow weird ones. Let's drink some moon juice. So, today I'm going to answer a question that has been lingering in my social media platform. Oh, cheers. I can't forget the ritual sequence of events. Okay, so today, well, first, where have I been? Oh, let's get organized. All right. So, life has been hectic and crazy, and there's been a lot of big shifts, and I'm really excited about all of them. It's really positive for me and everything going on. But it's definitely been a lot of reorganizing and rebuilding and remapping and replanning. As life continues to change, you need an adaptable schedule, and then shifts like plans that were made are no longer in, or like, what is it? In orbit? I don't know. Things are just not really, it's, I don't know how to describe it. It's chaotic and up in the air, but also like beautiful, fluid, swift movement. It's a mixture of everything. But it's definitely been, I guess, a whirlwind. That's a good way of expressing it. Things have been crazy. And so I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to get back into somewhat of a routine with the things that it is that I'm doing, organizing my schedule, recalibrating the flow. I guess that's another good way of expressing it. My flow has shifted. And I think like every leg of the journey, the rhythm changes a little bit, and stepping to the beat and recalibrating to be in alignment with the new rhythm can take some time. It's also only Taurus season. It's also just the beginning of the like astrological year. We have Beltane in a couple weeks, and that's going to be a big like embodiment, renewal, rebirth, like expression of things. I feel like that's when things really start to blossom and take off, especially as far as like manifestations are concerned. I think the spring equinox, there's a lot of insights of balance and like just like cracking your spine back into like a big stretch after a long hibernation, and you're starting to get your steps back. And then Beltane is like you're in the rhythm of it, and then the rest, right? So just more alignment for these cycles, especially as I been on this really long journey of I keep saying the fucking word recalibrating, but that's like what it's been. My life has been in this big shift, and it's been years in the making, this molding that's been happening. That is Sarah, that is my life. Every aspect of the journey, every leg, every cycle, every bit of it, all of the side quests and all the above have led me to this point, and just keep on keeping on, keeping on. Like it's been a lot. So I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to continue to be consistent. Like that's the thing. Like they say you want to be consistent when you're doing all of this stuff, and the audience expects so much of you. And I want to not necessarily want to please, but I want to succeed. I want to achieve success in my pursuits. There's a reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, but I can't follow the structure that has been asked of me in this culture. Um as much as like I've been redirecting to a foundational plan, and I do think it's healthy to have these boundaries and routines and other things. I was an OT for so long, so I understand the task analysis and the breakdown of everything. But I also feel like it's a lot more slowed down than I'm used to being, so it feels like slamming on the brakes, even though that's not really what it is. It's just getting myself to adapt and adjust to a new rhythm. It's a lot of nervous system resetting, and that takes a lot of time, especially to hit it at like all the deep, intricate layers of your life to get into this vast abundance, which would be like so it'd be like the river getting to the sea. When you once you finally get to the sea and you're just like, you know? It can also symbolize you crossing the abyss and all of these things. And there's multiple attempts. Just like weight training, you have to do millions of reps before you get to that level of professionalism. And I've just started so many new journeys. I constantly am doing new things. And not so much just like trying new things, like just throw things at the wall to see what sticks, but just I genuinely love trying new things and I'm curious about life and I like a lot of things. I just like experiencing and life gets in the way and not in a bad way, but life also still gets in the way. And then you get lost in this drama of things that you're, I don't know. I guess the society or family or just like expects you to worry about. Um I'm not sure if any of that makes sense, but life has just definitely been interesting. Like, what is this balance of like presence and living in the moment and experiencing? Like, I think I struggle with a lot of FOMO, like fear of missing out. And so then I overload my plate. And then I'm set when I'm not capable of doing it all, I suppose. It's kind of annoying that in life you do have to pick and choose, you do have to prioritize. And so that's been like a big reflection of mine lately. Like, yes, I can do all these things. I can be all of these things. There are parts of me in all of this, but like what is the puzzle? And I that is Sarah. And I don't know if like people ever like fully figure that out. I don't know if that's like the whole question of life. I don't know if people figure it out and then they start living it. I think it's kind of a little bit of everything. I think like Snoop Dogg could be a good example because like he is who he is and he's experiencing everything life has to offer. There are different levels to it or different lives different depending on who can anybody achieve these things? It goes back into questions of like soul contracts or free will and all these complex theories of like what is life and agency and embodiment and how do you live a life that you want to live? And what life do you actually want to live? Because I found that like, yeah, I try things, but it's not something I actually want to do. And then but somehow I get trapped in it for months, days, years. And it's like, what? This is supposed to be a free trial, and I'm committed, and I'm continuing to be committed, and don't want to be committed. Maybe I need to commit to these things and quit grifting on all the free trials and actually pursue and just accept that this is who I am. There's so many different ways you can interpret it. And I feel like I've been hit with all of these thoughts all at once. And so, anyway, with all of that, as I continue to transition, the candles, I've talked about where those are. Like, I'm still making candles and making it for myself, and they're still available to certain people. Like, they're more exclusive than they've ever been. I know that there are a lot of people who love them. Just to be honest, I didn't get the support that I genuinely needed for me to be able to keep them alive in that way. I have the support to keep them alive for myself. I have the support to keep them alive as gifts for friends and to work on bigger projects. Like my candles, they're leveling up in a lot of ways, which I think is really cool. But it is this like interesting shift, I suppose. So like my candles, they're gonna be a part of album like artwork and like sets and scenes and all of these other like higher level ritual workings. And I'm so excited for them. I couldn't have really envisioned anything. I envisioned that they were in everyone's home, but they're a part of something bigger now. And I think that that's like amazing. I didn't quite envision that for myself. Maybe I wasn't dreaming big enough, or I thought that they could only be in a certain way. And it turns out that they can't be. But also, like I said, just the general population didn't appreciate them enough to pay for them. And I understand economy, their price point, luxury items, blah, blah, blah. And people might, feel how they feel for a variety of ways. But I really hit this. Like, I can only do so much and I can only offer things in a certain way for so long to be sustainable. And sustainability has been a huge theme through my Pisces return, just a general theme of my life. It could be due to my generational Capricorn placements. It could be to a lot of 10th house, like experiences within like career. Like there's so many different ways I could look at it. Sometimes I even look at my second house and, my Leo moon, which is like in the second house and like other components of my life. And it's just like, how do I embody everything that it is that I am. Because just because I am these things doesn't mean that I'm embodying it in a way that is sustainable myself. Like maybe I'm prioritizing too many things. Like, am I prioritizing the right skills? All of this stuff has just come to a head. It's been headed in that like pointed direction for a while now. And I think I've just been slowly going through this process, but a few things that keep coming back and wondering why they keep coming back. Well, like the podcast thing keeps coming back. I know people enjoy my presence. However, my views look, people get to my stuff when they get to my stuff. It's a lot of long form content. So it takes a while to get through. So I also need to slow down because it takes a lot of energy to create them. But then it also like takes a lot of energy and extra time for people to process what it is. And then as a generator, I feel like I'm just bombarding people, I'm bombarding myself. And so I'm trying to get into like just a more steady pace. And that's like last year really taught me the steady pace. Like you can work a steady, fast pace, but, like, what kind of pace do I actually want for my life? Taurus season, earth energy is also really slowing down. And it, again, enjoying the journey, all of that. So through all of this, the candles are retired to the public in like a store product kind of way. Like I said, f- commission for bigger things, like bigger events. I'll make centerpieces for weddings. Like I still want to be a part of those like ceremonial large moments of life. But I know not everyone does a lot of candle magic the way that I do it. However, so I'm just shifting, and it also cleared up so much space for me to do what I've always really, really wanted to do. This is finally manifesting, but it's like more the writing side, the journalism side, and then it's combined with like music. Meeting Jason at Rock Oracle. Like I met him at the dog park, so I think that that's like super fun. And so anyway, getting through that and that experience, if I didn't move to Nashville, if I wasn't doing all of these things, I wouldn't have been led to this moment. So like you have to trust the process, you have to enjoy the journey. It all leads you and molds you in a way that create something that's better than you could ever imagine. You know what I mean? Like, especially like I think my candles are a good representation of that. Every time I create a candle, it has been a journey, especially like my towers, like this one. I don't know if people can see it. My Hercules candle. It was like, I don't even know if this is gonna fucking look good. And now I look at it and I think I'm really proud of it, especially in seeing it in the big picture on the altar, all of those things. And so finally seeing my writing that I've struggled with to see for myself as like a valuable skill, talent, career option. Like I've always wanted to be a writer. I always wanted to write books. I always wanted to do all of these things. But putting myself out there to be seen in that way was a really long process. It took a lot of healing and emotional clearing, somatic release, nervous system reset, whatever, like all of the psychology, all of the spirituality, all of the things, all of the work. I've done a lot of the inner work and it's led me to this place where I'm not so afraid or worried about how I'm presenting myself or what it is I'm doing. It's allowed me to slow down and focus more on the quality, not the quantity. And I've always tried to focus on quality, not quantity, but like there's a quantity that is demanded of you, especially I feel like in our Western world, but just not even just the Western world, but the world in general. There's a lot of people, things are a lot more fast paced. You can, get millions of different content is streamed into your psyche at any moment. So why are people going to choose me? Like, how do I make people choose me? I can't control that. Like that fucking lesson has been ingrained into my system because the harder I try to get people to like me, it's not even like trying to get people. I don't want to. I'm not trying to convince people to like me. I'm not trying to convince or convert anybody into anything. It's just like, how do I put myself out there in not a way that's digestible or receptive, but it ultimately for me, it was in a way that was safe. Like, am I safe to be myself even if people don't like me? That's been like a really huge thing. And so a lot of this led me to this understanding that maybe I misunderstood because the world doesn't know me. Maybe I'm not being clear or transparent about who it is that I am, or maybe it is, or maybe I am, but I'm also a complex person. Like people only know me in the ways that they know me. So at the gym, they know me, or they used to when I was in the gym in this way. I'm no longer in the gym in this way, but when I was a power lifter, people only knew me through that lens. They didn't know all of me. And, or people who know me in the witchcraft space, they only know me in that lens. People who know me in music, they only know me here. Like people have put me in a box. And then it's like, yeah, the worlds collide. Like I'm in all of these boxes. And in fact, I'm the bridge between all of these different scenes or cells or whatever, you know. I am a complex being, and that goes back to doing too much, the fear of missing out, being disorganized, scatterbrained, or even just a word salad, you know, how I talk. People have brought that to my attention as like slow down, focus, you know, you're skipping steps, and I'm just way ahead of whatever. Because by the time this is processed and completed, I'm already on to the next thing, and so I'm trying to pace that out and not be overwhelmed by, like, the long list of ideas. I write all my ideas down, I keep everything together, and then I get overwhelmed by, like, will I ever get to this? Will I ever get to this? Will I ever get to that? And I'm like, is this even worth getting to? Is this even my thing to create? So I had to really sit with and determine what was mine. And then I also had to realize, like, I get to decide that. Not only do I get to decide it, I don't have to wait for permission for someone to grant it to me. I get to have what I want for myself, for my life, in the way that I want it. I just have to commit to it. I have to be certain about it. And so, as much as I've loved my candles and loved being in art, like that realization, that epiphany that one of my beautiful TikTok followers, Lauren, Dr. Lauren, that's her name on there. You'll see her comment on my post. Like she was the first person to kind of confirm or confront, externally validate for me. Like, oh, Sarah's an artist. She's not. These are not just candles. It's not just like a spell candle. This is art. This is so much more than what you're thinking it is until you get it and you see it and you feel it and you burn it, and like the experience that she has helped me see myself in a really cool way. And through that journey, you know, because my husband was like, I always would fight him. He initiated me to make candles and he supported me to make candles, but then he's like, candles aren't your only thing. You need to do more. And I'm like, I don't know what that more is. And I don't want to just make products. Like there's so many metaphysical shops and witchcraft stores and all of this stuff that have like, oh, I make oils and I make this and I make that and I make this and I make that and I have this and I have that. And then like, oh, consignment, we have all of these girls here. And I've been a part of all of it. Like that's what I think people don't fully understand, like how many shoes I have tried on to realize that I would just rather be barefoot, that I would rather just kind of have what I have and maybe make my own pair of shoes that is specifically curated for myself. And I kind of think that like everyone's on that life journey, figuring out the perfect fit, that right, just right balance for their life. And that's been a long, never-ending journey that I don't think I'm through yet. Um, how do I feel about this, like, writing? Do I think that this is more long term? I feel like it's more long term than my candles are, but my candles are still long term. My art is still long term. I've just had to shift how I package them and how I present them to the world. How I was presenting them to the world wasn't necessarily the way that they were designed or destined or whatever to be presented to the world. And that's why they didn't get the fulfillment or the support that they deserve. And so I feel like that's the same way with people. All of these feelings of unappreciation and disrespect is like, I'm not presenting myself in the way that I deserve. And it's through not so much like laziness. When I say lazy, it's not laziness, but it is laziness. It's low priority. It's not priority for me to do XYZ for others. I am one person. It takes so much for me to just create things. I think like a lot of content creators and small businesses, artists who are online promoting themselves, that our duty to promote ourselves. Absolutely. Because nobody else will. If you're not your number one cheerleader, like nobody else is going to be. Uh, but at the same time, like we all can't do all this, and a lot of really successful people have the resources. However, they have the resources, it doesn't matter, but they have some type of resource to and support to of a team to make it happen. So you're a one woman show, one man band. It is really difficult. And even with the support that I have, I still don't have a team. I don't have someone who's managing my website. I do that. Like I don't have someone else making the candles and then like doing social media. Like no, like all of those divided job roles are on me. And so, like, how do I set myself up for success while juggling all these hats? And in fact, how many hats do I need to juggle and which ones are really important? And that goes to, I think I've talked about before, like a plastic ball, glass ball theory. I saw it on Facebook years ago, and it was understanding that there are going to be plastic balls and glass balls. You have to juggle both. It's okay to drop a plastic ball. It's not okay to drop a glass ball. So make sure if you're going to drop a ball, you drop the right ball. Please try not to drop the ball all at the same time, because the whole point of having them is that there's a purpose to the art that you are creating through juggling all of them, right? Like the illusion, the optical illusion of what you're creating through movement, right? That is your life. So if life is art and art is life, the plastic and the glass balls matter. And even when they shatter, it matters. So like that goes into like my candles. I firmly believe if the heat cracks it, it's meant to die for a reason. So if you drop a glass ball, it's meant to break for a reason. And then it's also like, do you want to just have a bunch of plastic balls or do you want to have more glass balls? Like, and that's a personal choice. Like, that's a personal preference because that could represent so many different things depending how you want to take it. So these are things I've asked myself. And if I've always wanted to be this writer and I love social media and the way that I love social media, I want to use it on my terms. I don't want to get rid of it, but I don't want to keep up with this expectation of it. Same with the podcast, same with YouTube, same with the candles. All of these things had like really strict expectation that wasn't sustainable especially with everything with the balance. Things were being off balance. And so this way, my candles, I have the energy to dedicate to them in a more meaningful way that gives me more space and opportunity to continue to pursue other things. I think every chapter, you have to focus on things for a reason. High priority candle focus it taught me so much. And it's shown me what I am capable of doing, stubbornly capable of doing, and other things. And it also led me to meet some really cool people, more networking opportunities, and then more mirrors for me to like see myself within to lead me to Rock Oracle, which is leading me to like answering some social media questions. Cause like where's this shift going? Where's this shift going? Well, I'm still writing spiritual stuff. Like I still am Sarah, like the spiritual witchcraft, oracle, high priestess, whatever, empress side, this essence that I've created on TikTok. Like I like none of that was fake. um, None of this is a show. Like these are my real altars and these like I talk about the real things that I do, real magic, my personal experience, my personal interpretation. I share a lot of my world with everybody, which has made me a target and all of these things. And, I've offered myself, I've overextended my services. Like they say, not everyone's meant to be a tarot reader. It's okay if you only learn tarot for yourself. It's okay to only do it for friends. Just because you're on a spiritual path doesn't mean you have to become a spiritual practitioner or service operator in any way. And I only offered those things. Like I learned these things for myself to begin with. There wasn't a part of me that ever was like, I'm gonna be a tarot reader or I'm gonna be an astrologer and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Other people ultimately begged me and convinced me to offer those things. Like, this will be a good stepping stone for you. Like, you're talented. Offer it for money, you'll be successful. And so I would like offer all of these things that I can do. I was just being pulled in too many directions. And then I also think people were confused about like what it is that I offer or why I'm offering it in the way that I do. And it's like, well, I have to charge this amount because this is what I'm doing. This is how it works. And like all of the stuff was just, it was just too much. Well, now writing for Music Magazine, like I am incorporating my soul stories into artists that I interview. It's happening. All of my astrology is pulled into the music that I report on or the artwork that I report on. Like, I feel like this isn't just like music, journalism. I feel like it's art and culture commentary or journalism. I think like I'm stepping into a completely different, like combination of being that really fulfills all my cups. And that's what I've been trying to do, and so I had to let go of certain expectations because I wear certain titles or I have certain roles or I have certain skills. And so it's like, oh, well, if you're this, then you must be that. And I would let people put me in a box. And I would kind of, I guess I would, I felt like a hermit crab trying on a million shells and really struggling to pick a shell that I liked and that was comfortable. It's just like it wasn't as easy as Goldilocks made it sound. It's like, oh, too hot, too cold, just right. No, it's too hot, too cold, too soft, too rough, too big, too small. Like everything. It was just like all of these extremes just felt like a constant teeter tottering. And I think that's what it feels like to cross the abyss. I feel like that's what it's like to be in the void, the ocean, all of these symbolisms, which were really loud during my Pisces Saturn return. Okay, Pisces Saturn return in the 10th house. So we can see how this has all kind of come together, or why the experience has been the way it's been. And so now we have this Aries energy and all of these Aries transits. That's like, all right, we wash it all away. It's you, go, like fire horse, run, all of the things. And so through a Leo, Jason is a Leo, and I absolutely love that this Aquarius found a Leo who truly like sees, recognizes, and understands her and supports her. Like Jason's a really cool dude, and I think it's a divine blessing from Hecate, to be honest, that like we met at the dog park, our dogs, like it's through the dogs that this started. And it's just been really fun. And so like I said, through that channel, it's similar to what I'm doing already, but in a different way, in a different avenue that kind of clears space on all of the things. Like I'm not offering birth chart readings, I'm not offering tarot readings, but hey, I can write a artist spotlight article about you in Rock Oracle, and I'm tapping into your astrology and like tarot anyway, just intuitively, subconsciously, because that's just kind of who it is that I am. And I think I connect to certain artists at certain times within like certain transits for a certain reason. And the article gets published at the right time, the right way, all of these things, which has been really fun. And then I'm putting in my personal narrative, which is like what I write about my lunar memoirs, which is my diarist like journal that I share with the world behind my paywall because it is super personal. And, you know, you can pay to have access. There are some weirdos who have paid to read my personal thoughts, not as like a fan or someone who enjoys my writing or whatever, for like, instead of just like confronting me about the situation, they wanted to read my diary about it. And like, that's like, I think that can be a weird energy, but I wear my heart on my sleeve quite literally. And so I'm able to incorporate like my genuine feeling into it all while still being objective and observational and being of service to people. So I just really like how Rock Oracle is packaging and presenting me to the public. And I feel like it's opening myself up to so many other ways where I can do that, not just with like musicians and this realm, but like other artists of other mediums and other souls of other expressions. And that's what I think is really cool and is really exciting for me. And so I'm really like, I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled to be on this like wave. This is a fun wave to ride. I'm stoked about it. And but like I said, organizing all of it, that's been a little bit about where I've been and catching my breath and getting my stride, especially if we've been swimming for so long, have a lot of sea legs. And so grounding, embodying, now we're in this not so fishy energy, but more. And I say hopefully, I've been exhausted, I've been burnt out. There's been a lot of transformation, a lot of new levels or layers of growth, manifestation, evolution within myself. Because all of this, I still want to have time, or I still need time for my family, for my priestess work, like, having a career and still embodying all of this stuff, it's been really difficult. And how do you pick and choose and how do you prioritize aspects of your life? And like for me, especially in the beginning, if I've had any advice, it's like it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to an opportunity. It's alignment, right? But I would say yes to every opportunity that came my way because I was afraid I was going to miss an opportunity. So I've been really healing a lot of my FOMO, a lot of my fear of missing out, which has left me in like a freeze of codependency. I remember being a kid and being afraid of missing out at home, but then being afraid of missing out with my friends to where I couldn't make a decision. And then I would just live in this like guilty hellhole, and I don't wanna live like that anymore. So if I say no, I'm trusting why I'm saying no. I'm setting my boundary, like, it's okay for my rituals to be important to me, and it's okay for me to say, "No, I'm not coming to this event on Friday. It's a new moon. I'm not going to this event. It's Beltane. Hey, it's Sunday, and Sunday is my priestess day for myself, where I do a lot of deep, like crown chakra, like things. Not so much in a Christian context, but there is a purpose to Sunday, Suna's day, crown chakra day. Then there's a reason why it is like the day of rest, like Christianity. The reason why it's so good at what it does is because it has elements of truth. I find that Christianity and the Bible, the modern reflections and interpretations of the Bible are deceptive. And that's what deception is. Deception is truth twisted, right? It's a mission in a way. So it's not denying any of these synchronicities, but it's shifting the perception into a clearer version of truth, honestly. So I think part of me has struggled with a lot of rebellion, and like I don't want to be perceived certain ways and I don't want to get lost in certain dogmas. So therefore, I'm not going to respect this religious spiritual holiday in like for work, like because I'm going to rebel against society and religion and dogma. So I'm going to go to work on this holiday instead of actually just like honoring that holiday and realizing it has a purpose. And I can find meaning in that for myself. And you can find meaning in your own holidays. Whether it's the wheel of the year, the Christian calendar, the Muslim calendar, whatever calendar you choose, and whatever holidays you subscribe to, you just kind of have to commit to it. You have to commit to your path. And I kind of feel like a lot of paths have been before me, and I've just been kind of walking through a maze, a labyrinth of paths, finding my own path that I kind of cultivated for myself by bridging. It seems like I've been standing at the edge of all these paths and I grab them and I weave them into my own path, which would be very on par for like my web of weird. And that, like I said, that takes a lot of dedication. I think where I've been surprised is how many years it's taken, and to think that this is where I am and how long it's taken. Like I feel so far ahead, but also like so far behind. Because it's like, wow, I've been doing this for so many years and I'm only here, but holy fuck, I'm here and I've only done it for this many years. Like I'm only 30 and I've achieved a lot. I've done a lot. I've experienced a lot, and I'm ready to continue to keep living and doing all the things. Like my life's not over. And I don't know, just because things slow down doesn't mean you're dying, I guess. It's like a way that it feels sometimes. Um, and just because things are peaceful doesn't mean that something bad's gonna happen. I know I really struggle with that too. So I think I think I'm gonna pause this. I might do a new episode or new whatever. I don't know. I'm just like I said, I'm flying by it. I try to do things based off of inspired action. I have my foundational routine that I redirect myself to. But if I feel inspired to do something, I try to answer that call. And so I felt inspired to do this today, which is why I'm down on the ground, but that'll probably be like the next episode or when I get back from this break, however I choose to divide it up. Because I kind of went down a tangent that I wasn't necessarily expecting to yap about for like God knows how many minutes. So anyway, that's just like a little bit about where I've been, some of my recent reflections and transformation. And so, yeah, I'm writing for Rock Oracle. Mostly, I would say full time, at least an article a week is like the goal, maybe multiple articles. I'm organizing myself. I've put myself out there for more freelance, like written work. I have some movie magazines and some food magazines and like other artistic, creative, cultural avenues that I will be writing for and presenting. And I'm just kind of everything is to make sure that I still come back to my sovereignty, which is Wyrd Curations, which is myself, the business I have with my husband and I. And Rock Oracle is another passion project that I don't want to like fade away. Like I want that to be something that I can do forever. I might have to decrease my load, just like with my candles. My candles are something that I wanted to do forever, and it's just decreasing the load, but I still get to do it. Rock Oracle will probably be one of those things, and all of this falls under my web of weird, my Wyrd Curations, and my weird life that I live. And so all these other things, the movies, the food, the travel, the spiritual, like the book reviews, like all of the things that I like I reflect upon and write about and express to the world, all of this is ultimately for my sovereignty, my independent, and being a bridge and being a channel that all comes back to the same core philosophy of everything that I'm doing. So it's an interesting like I guess anchor, so to speak. Like everything comes back and flows back into this grand ace of cups of mine that is me, that is my heart space, that is fulfilling to me, that is also fulfilling to the rest of the world. So I hope you all enjoy this new accessibility. I know that it's going to be different. I'm busier. I have less time to interact. I'm trying to interact more and like keep up with the interactions. I get so busy that I don't keep people up to date, and then people don't know what's going on. And then it's like, you did this, but now you're already onto this. And so please just, I hope you stay tuned for it all. There's going to be a lot of fun curations, a lot of weird curations coming up. So with that, I'm gonna close out this episode and then talking about another answer to one of my social media questions, which is what is in my record case. This is my record shelf. Mainly my husband's record shelf, but we're gonna dive into everything that's in here next time. So with that, thank you, ghouls, demons, and fellow weird ones. Thanks for drinking some moon juice. I'll see you next time and stay weird.